morning. Hi, I'm your hostess for today's session. My name is 𝐓𝐡𝐢𝐬. I'm a voice and presentation coach, and we're here to actually celebrate our beautiful book launch. Today is the day. We're going live to celebrate our Amazon bestseller launch. Now, I went live a few days ago just to tell you about the launch and talk it up a little bit. But today we're actually celebrating becoming Amazon #1 bestsellers. And we're in multiple categories. So we'd like to say a huge thank you to everybody that supported this campaign. Now, as a special gift today, I have this bowl. It's going to the highest bidder. We're actually got masses and masses of prizes to give away. We have about $5,000 worth of prizes and giveaways. So here is how it's going to work. All you have to do to play and be in it is to comment underneath. As soon as you comment, we will see your name and we will be able to put you in the bowl to win a prize. So here's what we're going to do. Super, super simple. The rules are this. If you've bought the book, and let me show you, these are the 3 links that you will have gotten on our Facebook pages right across the web. So you'll see on my Facebook page, 𝐓𝐡𝐢𝐬, that's 𝐓𝐡𝐢𝐬, just my personal page. I put these 3 links to buy the book, and we'll share those links across all of our channels right now. In the comments underneath, you will see the direct links to buy. We're going to ask somebody to put those in the comments straight after the live today. Now, once you purchase the book, you'll be taken to a landing page where you can actually prove that you purchased the book. And then all you have to do is click enter, and you will immediately get all of your bonuses and your gifts. Now, on top of all those bonuses and gifts that are instant, the second you see that thank you page, is we're going to actually give away another few $1,000s worth of amazing prizes each from our authors. So let me tell you a little bit about the book now, and let's jump over to see who's here. Good morning. I'm so excited to have you here too. Now, if you have bought the book, make sure that you put your name in the chat, the full name of you, so we can actually match it with your email. Because once it's matched, you'll actually be able to go into the prizes. So let's bring on all the authors. Please welcome to the stage, Nikki Hamilton.
Hello.
Please welcome to the stage. Hi, nice to have you here. We've got Di Channelor. Is Jay joining us on stage? Jay, are you joining us on stage? Hi. And who else is here? Oh, here we go. Irene is here. Hello, Irene, and welcome to the stage. I'm going to hide that so we've got more space. We've got Beth. Welcome to the stage. And Sue Ellen. Have I missed anyone? I think I've got everybody there. Okay, welcome. And today we'd like to say a special thank you, of course, to the beautiful Jay and to Dre, who's hiding behind the scenes, because they've put the entire thing together and has been a massive inspiration in bringing the troops together to actually write an Amazon bestseller. Now, is this a first campaign for everybody here? Excuse me.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, no. And yeah, look, we've got, some of us have had best-selling books before, and some of us are absolutely new to the task. But here's the great thing about it is the way that Jay and Dre puts this together is just seamless and easy to understand. It's easy for all of the authors. Everything was organized in a set format. So, excuse me, I got a bit of mucus coming up. So it was very easy for us actually to do the work together. And for me, just quickly, when I was starting my chapter, I was actually in the middle of shooting a movie. So I was very, very close to not doing it. I was thinking about pulling out. So if you're an author who really wants to write something from your heart and share it with a wider audience, I would say this: don't let anything get in the way, because your message is so important. You know, that movie has come and gone. But this book now will also be part of my legacy. You know, this is part of how we actually connect with other people and inspire them to change. So it's a very, very important process. I highly recommend the Amazon best-selling author process for anyone who has a message to share. So if you're interested in becoming an Amazon best-selling author, put Amazon bestseller underneath, and me. And so then we'll be able to reach out to you and give you the information. Now we've got some comments coming in. Woohoo! Okay, Robert is here. Thank you very much, Robert, for your support. Tom is here. Tony, nice to have you here. Leanne has joined us live as well from Instagram. Fantastic. Tony is from YouTube. We've got Leanne. Congratulations to all the authors. That is so sweet. Now, if you look in the chat, you'll see once you've actually bought the book, it's a $299 USD book on Amazon. All you have to do is buy the book and then go to this link. So anyone who's purchased the book this week, this is your opportunity. You go, if you haven't purchased the book, that's okay too. You can jump off right now, go over to Amazon, purchase the book, and then copy your order number and put it into this link that you'll see underneath all these posts. So you'll see our video on LinkedIn or video on YouTube or video on Facebook. All you have to do is put that link into your computer on a new URL, fill in the form, and you will get immediate access to the gift and goodies in there. Now, on top of that, we're going to give away some prizes shortly. But let's go over and we're going to introduce each other, introduce all the authors. I'm going to go back to the banners. So let me start with the chapters are out of order. So excuse me if I move in between people, but I'm going to go in the order of alphabetical. So we're going to start with Beth. So I'm going to welcome to the stage. Let me see how I do this. Solo, like, where's Beth gone? Oh, here's Beth. Let me put this in solo layout. There you go. Beth. Hi, nice to have you here. We've got you spotlighted for everybody. I might put my spotlight back, but I have no idea how to do that. Oh, that's really weird. Oh, thank you. Did you do that for me? Oh, you're so sweet. That'd be perfect, but I want Beth up next to me if that was possible at all. If it's not, it's fine. So Beth her chapter is called Empowered by Choice, the Courage Within. Beth, can you tell me a little bit about your chapter and what inspired you to write that?
Hi, welcome everybody. It's great to see all the other authors here, and thank you, Elisa, for hosting this morning. I'm so proud to be here and for all that we've achieved, and also a special thanks to Dre and to Jay for the work that they've done in the background to get us to the point that we're actually at right now, which is wonderful. My chapter, life is a whole series of different stories and different experiences, and there are times in our life that may seem insignificant, that as we look back and reflect on them, actually take on much more significance, much more importance. And my chapter is not about an entire storyline because it's really difficult to put that all into one chapter. It's about a moment in time and how that moment in time provided a whole lot of clarity for me and brought together a whole lot of things that had happened prior to that moment in time. But it really put a line in the sand for me and enabled me then to move forward in a different way with my life.
Yeah, beautiful. Now, how did you find the chapter writing process with this? Was it daunting for you? Was this your first time?
It's not my first time of writing, but it certainly was my first time of writing about an incident in my life and something that was really important to me. So how I found it was in the beginning you think, oh, one chapter, that's a breeze. I can do that no sweat. And then you realize that there are lots of things that don't need to go into the chapter and a whole range of things that might be actually more important. So, yeah, it took longer than I thought it would.
Right.
being an experienced writer. However, it was a very positive experience.
Right. Oh, that's really good to hear. Now, you have a special gift that you work with other people and you help them shift out of something. Can you tell us a little bit about what is the biggest issue that your clients come to you with, and how do you help them work through that issue?
It's my clients. I provide confidential one-on-one coaching to executives, and also work often with their teams. And that my focus is on leadership and communication. And where I start really is by that leadership and communication from the inside out. So it's about helping people to understand that in order to be a better communicator and the best possible leader that they can be, they need to begin by working on who they are and how they then go out and impact on the world. So I have a number of different, well, a massive toolbox that I use. A lot of my coaching is based on the positive intelligence framework, but also a lot of NLP frameworks are involved in the work that I do. I'm also a certified workplace happiness coach, would you believe? So, and there's actually quite a lot around the happiness in an organisation and in a team that's useful to share with my clients.
Okay, great. So can you tell me a little bit about the prize that you're going to give away? So this is nothing to do with the goodie bag. Let me just explain that again for people who've just joined us. Our goodie bag is going to be given away today, free of charge, as soon as you buy or purchase the book and support the campaign. As Amazon bestsellers, now we're at the #1 spot in the new releases, which is absolutely brilliant. We're celebrating that today. But if you've missed all the excitement this week, all you have to do is jump over to Amazon and buy the book, and you'll see these links underneath the videos here. They'll be placed underneath on every single platform. Once you purchase it in your area, then you'll go to the gift bag link, which is, I've lost it. Dre, can you put that gift bag link back up again, please? So once you purchase the book, somebody's got a noisy microphone. Once you purchase the book, all you have to do is take that Amazon order number and pop it into that link right there with your name and email, and you will get automatic access to all of the gifts in the goodie bag. But now we've got thousands of dollars worth of prizes to give away right now. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to ask Beth, what is your prize that you're giving away? Because I'm going to ask people to put their name in the chat if you want this particular prize.
It's always hard to decide exactly what kind of gift to come up with in this circumstance, because while I'm confident that I can create a shift in a 1 hour coaching session, it's also really important to be able to follow up with clients and to have them to be accountable to you and to themselves for actually applying some of those actions. So today, what I thought would be a useful gift to be able to give to someone is a 1 hour session looking at busting your biggest limiting belief. So it would be quite a focused session where you would identify, this is my biggest limiting belief. It might be that you believe that you're not the right person for the role that you're in. It might be that you believe something that you've had with you, that you've carried with you for most of your life. And so it's about busting that and then having you move forward from that point.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, if you want to work with Beth, if you want to find out what your major limiting belief is and you want to bust out of it because it's stopping you from moving forward, this is your opportunity. Have a think about, are you turning up in the same place at the same time all the time? Are you in the same situation? Did you wake up and then realize that 5 years have gone by and you actually haven't grown? You haven't moved forward? You might have a limiting belief holding you back, and that's what Beth can help you with. So if you want that prize, that's a 1-hour coaching session, private coaching session with Beth to break free from that limiting belief, who would want that? So pop your name in the chat and write Beth prize me. Pop your name in the chat, Beth prize me. And I'm going to put your names in the bowl. Now, we're going to leave this video up for 48 hours only. So everybody who puts their name in the chat and wants to win one of these extra prizes, apart from the goodie bag, then you must put your name in the chat for us to be able to find you in the list of people who've actually purchased the book. Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you, Day. Yes, it is a wonderful, wonderful offer. Now let's go back. Thank you, Beth, so much for joining us today. I'm going to move over. Yeah, thank you so much. Now let's move over. We are going by, I'm making sure that I've got the right. Yes, great. We're going to move on to chapter 5. We're going to welcome Di to the stage, and we're going to give her a solo layout here. Woohoo! Thank you, Di. You've got a chapter, Heartbreak to Healing, a journey of unexpected events and self-discovery. Can you please tell me a little bit about why you wrote that chapter, how you came to share that message?
Thank you, Alyssa, and I'm happy to be here, everyone, and thank you, everyone, Dre and Jay, for organising this. How I came to write this chapter, well, this is actually my life. It's a chapter in my life, but it's a very powerful one, and it's put my life on a trajectory of having to deal with grief and loss at a relatively young age, and dealing with all those changes, and being abandoned and being left. Both my parents passed away within 3 years of each other. In the middle of that, my father remarried to my stepmother, and we were like the Brady Bunch. There were 3 of them and 3 of us. So it was a whole lot of unexpected events, because although death is inevitable, the timing of it is what's unexpected. And that was sort of the beginning of, I guess, my life's journey.
Right. And you're committed to helping other people by teaching them how to listen to their inner wisdom and unleash their full potential. So as a coach, you do that through your tarot card readings, right? And your messages, your channel messages and coaching services. So yes. Can you tell me what sort of people do come to you for this, and how do you actually do that in a session? Because that's really interesting for all of us.
Yes, it is, and it's a different way of thinking. I actually run live events where I'm on the spot answering questions, like a Q&A, and I've been running those for the last year or so. And then people do book in for sessions one-on-one, and sometimes it's about relationship issues, life purpose, giving them some direction. And I connect with source, channel the information, and sometimes I think to myself, I don't know where that came from. And for me, I don't really need the cards, but these are my quirky little tarot cards. And people love the pictures. And the tarot cards, believe it or not, are really accurate with the information that they provide. So it is a snapshot. And the information is like a snapshot of what's going on, and people do resonate with it. And they're, really blessed for the helpful information that I'm giving them through my channeling abilities.
Right. It's such an interesting thing. I've watched a few TV mediums. It's just an incredible gift. Absolutely incredible. Because how do you, well, I suppose this is the question to the universe and to you. How do you differentiate through making things up in your mind and you know what I mean? Like imagining something. And how do you know when it's an actual inspired thought or it's actually being downloaded? Do you have a methodology of knowing what's true and what's false?
Yes. And I set an intention for every session and every event I do. Even today, I've asked for clear guidance and messages that you can connect in with source, your spirit guides, angelic realm. And I just ask that the clear messages come through me. And I just know they're not me because it's different wording that might come through. And just putting it out there that I'm trusting the information that I'm getting, and I am finding it is accurate and spot on. So there is a difference, because if it's a bit negative, that's usually the ego kicking in. So it's generally really positive. And as I say, sometimes I say things and I think, oh, I don't know where that came from. And I'll even suss it out. I'll check, is this resonating with you, the person who I'm reading for? Because I might be thinking, oh, what's all that? And they say, yep, perfect, spot on. Yes, it makes sense. So I can't put a filter on, and I am forced to say this is what I'm thinking. Even if it doesn't make any sense with me, it's not me who's getting the reading, it's the client.
Right, so. Exactly. Now, we've got a few people coming up in the chat. I want to double check that they want a prize. Now, Di, would you please tell us a little bit about your gift?
My gift is a reading with me, and you can ask whatever question you want, and I'll be using the cards. I usually channel the information, and then I'll pick it up with these quirky, see, they're all mixed up, quirky cards. So whatever question you need answered, I will give you that spot on accurate information, and the bonus with whatever the cards come up and tell you as well.
Wow, I love that. Who would actually like that? I think I'd like that too. Hands up if you want that gift. That sounds amazing. Now, I've got a comment in here. Hyon's put her name in here. Hyon, it's nice to have you here again. Hyon's one of the students in the Voice Club, one of my coaching programs. Hyon, just so I understand which gift that you want or which prize you would like to win, can you please put the name of the prize underneath? So if it's Di's reading, just pop Hyon Di's reading. And make sure anyone who's putting their name in the chat, you have to have, the only stipulation is you have to have purchased the book first and then go to that goodie bag link. So once you've purchased the book and grabbed your what's it called, receipt number, then you pop that into the goodie bag, the virtual gift bag link. And then once you're there, you'll see you can put your name, your email, and the order number in, and then you'll immediately go to the gift bag and have all that unlocked. Now, on top of all that, Di is also, and Beth, is giving away a very personal prize worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars to an extra person. Everybody who purchased the book will automatically get the gift bag, already worth thousands of dollars. But now we're actually putting prizes on top of that. So one person is going to win a session with Beth, and one person is going to win a session with Di. So if you want that session, if you're watching this on the replay, you have 24 to 48 hours to put your name underneath so we can match it with the email and the name that came into the virtual opt-in page, the gift bag page. I hope that's all making sense. I can't show that, unfortunately, but if you have any questions, please pop it in the chat and I will actually answer those questions before we jump off today. So it looks like Hyon wants that. And Hyon is also written Choi. Our Hyon Choi is her last name. So I'm going to write her down and put her into the bag. Hyon Choi. And now if you definitely want Di's gift, Hyon, just put a yes in the chat so I know that it's you. Oh, and Louisa is saying, I want it too. I want it too. That's fantastic. Awesome. And Louisa, back, fantastic at reading. May just you should re-show the link and send the links to Amazon purchase. Yes, the captions are covering the links. Yeah, thank you so much. Let me go back to the links now. Dre, can you please make sure that the links to purchase are put underneath every video in the comments, because that's where people need to go to actually see the links to purchase. So if you wouldn't mind putting that there, that'd be awesome. And then the link to the goodie bag also underneath the videos, because showing it on the screen is great, but the links are too long for people to click on, so that's not going to work. Now let's see if I can just take the banner off. I'm not sure how I can actually make the banner less obtrusive. No, I don't know how to do that. Alrighty, looks like, yep, Hyan wants definitely that offer, and we've got, great, fantastic. Now let's move on to the next chapter. I'm going to put a few people in the waiting room if that's okay. Di, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll bring you back in a little bit, so we just have a bit more space to actually highlight people. And Beth, I'm going to do that too, if that's okay. And we'll see you guys soon. Now, next, we have, is Simone here? Yes, Simone is here. Fantastic. So we've got chapter 11 from Simone Linley, and it's called When to How. Now, Simone is a founder, trainer, and coach with 25 years experience in the accounting industry, and she's seen industry legends rise and fall from excessive empathy and burnout. Oh, wow. So tell me a little bit about your chapter, please.
Hey, Alyssa, beautiful to see you all. Really lovely to hear from the other authors as well. And I know I haven't been able to be present in a lot of the lead up to these live sessions, so it's beautiful to be able to make today. Gosh, earlier when you said about, I just came in as you were saying about you were in a TV show, and it was like easy. You're thinking, oh gosh, now, should I write a book, chapter contribute, all of those sorts of things. And, I was in the same position, and then something else happened after that commitment. So the amount of time I had to commit to writing the chapter got squeezed again. And you sort of go, oh, how am I going to make this the best that I could possibly do? How am I going to show up the best that I can? And so it's kind of, I'm only just realizing now as I say it that from when to how being the chapter title is, interesting, because I spent a lot of time with my brother thinking about when, and as you'll read in the chapter, my brother passed away quite young, and it was a real wake-up call for me around actually just doing and really figuring out the how. And a lot of mindset work is around not getting too caught up in the detail. A lot of it is just about belief, and of course that is a huge part of it. And I want to invite everybody to believe that they will find the how. The how does appear, and we have so much judgment of ourselves that we can really trip ourselves up around that, around the how. And I was in the accounting industry for so long, and I saw so many people bleed out, and we've all had trauma. Beth talked about how life is a series of experiences, and I think that if we really just lean into, rather than focusing on right this picture of what we think our life will become, it's actually who we become. Like right now, who we are right now is the best version of you for now.
Yeah.
And then if we can, really focus on, I haven't shown up necessarily how I would have really wanted to show up, but I've shown up as the best version of me for right now. And if we can lean into that, I think that that's really, really be a bit easier on ourselves. We're so hard on ourselves. And, the accounting industry is so misunderstood. I work with anybody, of course, but I focus on accountants because, like most people that work with people, we can work with anybody, but I focus on accountants because I figure that's the most effect that I can have is if I can support an accountant to support all of the small business owners, then my ripple effect is so much bigger. So that's part of it, helping people help people who help people.
Yes. Absolutely, the
me.
ripple effect. Yeah. So what sort of people do you help? Like what sort of firms do they have? Are they big firms? Are they medium sized? Are they mom and pop firms?
It's a great question, Alyssa. Look, a lot of the time they're either sole directors or they've got perhaps one or two partners. And really I suppose my sweet spot is less than 50 employees. I find that the directors that they're often doing it alone. A lot of them, even if they've got partners, they'll be in here, they're doing it alone. And so in here can be a pretty interesting place.
Yeah.
And for want of a better word, um, it can be, right? We trip ourselves up. We think we're so isolated. And actually so many people are going through the same journey. And, my brother taught me so much about, I thought that I would, the great one was when I'm slim, I'll put myself out there. When I've got it all together, when the kids are growing up, when I've got a better car, when I live in a better area. It's just such a load of rubbish. It's like,
Yep.
it is who we become, like right now, who we become, right? So yeah, that's just when is now.
Yeah. Well, I love that. That's absolutely pertinent. Well, it's pertinent for all of us, not only accountants. Pertinent for
Yeah,
absolutely
sure.
all of us. So tell us about what's in the goodie bag and what's the extra gift if you've got an extra prize.
Yeah, great question. Jay and Dre and yourself and all the other authors have been so patient with me and so loving and so supportive. And thank you so much, especially as we, navigate this time in our lives here. And so I'm last minute, Annie, and that's okay. I'm just going to trust that it's going to land perfectly and as it's meant to. So very last minute last night, I sent through, we have some beautiful books and they're just ebooks, but they've had great feedback around overcoming self-sabotage, which who here hasn't suffered self-sabotage, right? So many of us have suffered self-sabotage, and I've got to admit that I have to keep reminding myself, is this me just taking some time for me, or is this me sabotaging me? So get curious about those voices that are telling you that this is okay. So a book there in the self-sabotage. We also have some mental fitness work, like with Beth, beautiful friend Beth. I use a lot of positive intelligence work in my work as well as NLP. So we have some strategies there for you. And we also have a ticket to an 8-week program that we do, which is the gift for today. So
Right.
that 8-week program I'll just let you know that whilst we work with accountants, that as long as you're a director of your own business, this program is for you. So the reason for that is that we're working on who it is you become. So who you become, you will get far more leverage when you are, because we work with the self-employed, right? So if you come into this program, I'm more than happy to interview someone who is really interested for a seat in this program. So it is an
Fantastic.
8-week program. The most common feedback that we get is that it's life-changing. So if anyone's up for life-changing, then, pop it in the chat. But I just want to let you know that it is interview process. Yeah.
Right. That's absolutely perfect, because you want to find the best fit. There's no point in working with people who aren't going to take action, or they're not a good fit. So if you could tell us in one short sentence, what is the takeaway that they would get from doing your 8-week program? What is the tangible, apart from life-changing, something that they can really understand that, oh, I need this?
Yeah. Okay. So, the other thing that is like, this is for directors of accounting firms primarily, but one of the most tangible feedbacks we get, is other than life-changing, is that I've never slept better.
And that's from an accounting program to that. That's a weird. Wow. Now, what would you did? You probably didn't write it for that, but okay,
No.
we sleep better and we life change. But what are some of the takeaways that they will walk away with, knowing that they can do X, Y, Z?
Yeah, so I think the biggest takeaway, the real practicals, are that they understand that they're the master of their own thought processes. So if they think they can't, they're right. I mean, it's an old adage, right? If they think they can't, they're right. If they think they can, they're right. And it's really around taking control of their own outcomes. So regardless of trauma, you'll see that in my chapter, regardless of trauma, I'm responsible for my outcomes. And I used to work with at-risk youth, and once they became 18, I'd say, look, trauma, I get it. I feel it. I absolutely empathize with you. And at some point in time, you're going to have to take responsibility for the choices you make now.
Yes, yes,
And
yes,
it doesn't
exactly.
take the trauma away. It doesn't mean
No.
that that didn't happen to you. It doesn't mean you forgive for them, but forgive for you, right? And choices for you. So a real practical process of that. Because it's like, oh, yeah, that sounds great, Simone, but how? Well, this is the how, right? That's my
Yeah.
chapter, how. So this is the how,
Yeah.
Alyssa.
I love that. Thank you so much for that. Now, if anyone wants to work with Simone, if you want to apply to get a prize, a free gift, which is a place in her 8-week program, life-changing and sleep better. I mean, my goodness, who wouldn't look like that even in itself? But to be able to take full responsibility as a business owner for our results, for our everyday results in life and business. If you want that prize, just put your name below. I'm actually putting all the prizes in a bowl, the old-fashioned way, with a pen and sticky notes. And I'm making sure that I put names in the bowl that if you want the prize. Now, remember, after this live, you can watch the replay. If you've missed the live and you're only watching the replay, that's fine. You can actually go to the replay and still play along and still be able to win a prize. Every single person who wins a big prize will be notified, as long as you've bought the book, you've put your name and email in to get your virtual gift bag. Then we'll be able to match the gift bag email that you signed up with to the comments. Now let's jump over and see if somebody wants that. We don't have any comments yet, but that will come in, I'm sure. So look out for that. And then we'll move on. So we've got 3 prizes in the bucket already, with a bunch of people wanting all these prizes, which is fantastic. So thank you, Simone, so much for joining us. Now we're going to move on
to the opportunity.
Yeah, you're very welcome. It's my pleasure. Now we're going to move on to chapter 9, embracing fear, finding inner strength. Irene is a midlife coach, and she has a passion. Her passion is about guiding empty nest mums to prioritize self-care and envision their future goals in order to create a fulfilling next stage in their lives. Well, Irene, welcome to the stage. I am an empty nester, and I'm so glad that you're here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the warm welcome. And thank you. I have to say shout out to Jay and Dre for all the background work you've done. And thank you, Alyssa, for hosting all of us. We appreciate it.
You're very welcome. So tell me a little bit about your chapter. What was the instigation? I mean, obviously you work with people like me, which is great. Where did you start? Like, how did you even decide, what am I going to write about here?
It was actually quite challenging because I have an easier time. Like, came from academia, doing a lot of science studies, research. This was a totally different thing. I had to talk about myself. That was really hard. The spotlight had to be on me. And I had a couple of things, including, Alyssa, I might say, about voice. And I read about how fearful you are of singing. I started to write about that, but I realized I wanted something that was more substantive, that showed up in my life often. And for me, it was just fear, paralyzing fear. Like, when you're a good student, you do what your parents said you to do, then it sort of have this like way of you think. And then all of a sudden you're afraid of making mistakes because, goodness gracious, you have this identity tied to your performance. And I really didn't realize how debilitating that could be until I was at home with my kids and I decided to come to the workforce. That's when I realized I had never really prepared myself to be outside that box of that formula, go to school, get good grades and get a job, get married and live happily ever after, that like standard thing, no deviation from that. And so in that process, going through an existential crisis, and in the process found myself, and this was really powerful to write this chapter. Did not really appreciate how much of that heaviness I'd been carrying with me. And it was such a cathartic process. And it's almost like, wow, it's almost like I had this luggage I've been hauling around for years and I let it go. And it was so powerful. And I think through this whole process, I came to realize one of the things that is incredibly helpful is whatever thoughts we have ourselves, it's really important to be sharing our story, because sometimes we think our stories are unique. And if you're not careful, you can live your life thinking you're the only person having that, whatever that you think, the self-limiting belief. and you start to talk to
Absolutely.
other people, then you realize you resonate with that some other people. So for me, this is a really, really helpful process. And over the years in getting to personal development, trying to find myself, I get to realize was identity. It was never about performance. Like that comes and goes. We have goods and bads, but just realize the thing that tied everything together was who I was, how I define myself.
Right. And that, yeah, exactly. I think we sometimes, like me, as when I left the singing world, I had defined myself only as a singer. You can define yourself as a mum. You can just define yourself from your role, but it's not only who we are, because we wear so many different hats in life. And when I was faced with years and years ago, when I lost my voice, which was a story in the first book, not in the second book, but when I lost my voice through panic attacks and agoraphobia, it sort of created so much tension in my throat that I couldn't sing anymore. I couldn't even speak. Suddenly, if you can't speak and you can't sing, and that's what you've done your entire life, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If we take all of our clothes off and we all stand in a room with white sheets on and nobody's allowed to say what they do, who they are, what the label is, who are we? I mean, it'd be fun exercise, right? Because we're just human beings.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I love that little meme where you've got eggs all of different colors on the outside, and then you break the yolk and look at the eggs on the inside. They're all the same. Doesn't matter what we look on the outside, we're all the same on the inside. We all want love. We all want acceptance. We all want growth, hopefully. Not all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just hearing you talking about your fear, that really surprised me. I said, oh my goodness, that was me. And if I hadn't yielded to the fear, maybe I would be singing, but I didn't keep it up. So like just have these little things. So it's really powerful how much we have in common when we start to share our stories.
Absolutely. And you'll never know when you're going to make a connection with somebody else. And look, I don't share my personal stories on Facebook a lot. It's not what I do. I do professional things mostly on Facebook. So when I had to write my own chapter, I went really deep and went actually really, really vulnerable, because I knew that there are people out there like me, maybe in the public eye, that have not shared their personal story and they're struggling on their own. I don't want people to have to struggle on their own. So tell me, Irene, about your extra gift, your prize that we're going to give away today, because if you want this gift, if you want the prize, put it in the chat, because the gift bag you'll get anyway, the prizes we're going to draw.
So I'm excited to talk about this. What I actually thought would be most suitable is to take the time to talk to a mom who is straddling two worlds of actually making decisions and helping them make a decision, because we have a tendency to be overwhelmed. And especially like this phase of my life where I recently became an empty nester. I'm in my third year with my older son in college, and coming to realize that we are trying to do so many things at a time that we have to make a decision of saying no to other people so we can say yes to ourselves. We're afraid to take that first step and plant flag and say, this is what I'm going to do, and anything outside you're going to get out of. So helping people to make that decision. And many of the times we're making decisions worrying about what other people think. We're not truly making decisions from our values and priorities and our beliefs. So I'd love to be able to have somebody, moms walk through that, look through that whole process, because once you know what it is, your values, your beliefs, that like frames everything, how you make decisions.
Yeah. That's beautiful. And so is this a one-on-one coaching session that you're going to offer?
Yes.
Okay. And do you call it anything particular?
I would actually basically call it a discovery call, where I'd have a mom based on where we can have this conversation. And moms are different places. Some moms, being empty nester moms, are still grieving that their children have moved out of the home. And so they're struggling with having to let go of their children. Other moms have made that transition smoothly. And there could be some moms actually working their way into like their kids are going to college or moving away because they're finishing from high school. So just like moms are different places.
Okay, great. I completely understand. Now, if you want, I can't let Simone in. If somebody can let her know, please. because for some reason we are full until somebody leaves the studio, so we can't do that at the moment. So if you would like to work with Irene, please pop it in the chat. And again, it doesn't matter if you're watching this on the replay, but if you're a struggling mum, if you're struggling with the work and your personal life and your kids are just nearly that empty nest sort of stage, this is the person to work with. If you'd really like some help around knowing what your values and your mission and your purpose is in life, now that your kids are gone, you might have to rethink it. So this is a really beautiful gift for any people our age, you know, any people from 40 to 60, I would imagine, could be empty nesters, and they could be struggling with these bigger questions. I know that I did when my first son moved out of home when he was 18. I suddenly, at the age of 36, was free as a bird. I didn't know what to do. It was like I had to make new decisions, you know, because suddenly you're not trapped anymore, and you need to, you can go out and do other things if the child is not there anymore. So it gives you so many options, and it can be exciting, but it also can be very scary and daunting because you've lived your entire life for your child up to that point. Mm-hmm. So I'm so glad that you're here. Now, have we got... Okay, thank you so much, Beth. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. Beth has popped off now. Now, thank you so much, Irene, for that. And remember, if you're watching this on the replay, you can pop in if you want Irene's gift. All you have to do is put Irene prize and then your name, and then we'll know that put your name in the hat next to her name. So fantastic. Now, have we got any more comments that we want to? We're going to just show a few more comments here. Robert says, amazing mission and journey, Simone. Thank you so much. I'm sure that he's really enjoyed that. Is Simone still here? Is she? Have I missed her? Oh, this was Simone, the one who just went. Jay, Irene, I love your energy, which is a beautiful comment from Jay. And Simone, thank you. That resonated. Shame I do not own my own business. I look forward to reading your chapter. Good on you, Tony. And remember, all you have to do is put in your Amazon purchase proof into the gift bag link that you'll see underneath all these videos. And that will give you automatic access to all the goodie gift bag. Plus, you'll go into the winning to win a prize as well. So thank you so much. Being an empty nester is the best. We do love our children, Jay. We do love. But it is lots of fun. And yes, it's an absolutely awesome offer. Now, Louise, I think, Louise, just to be clear, do you want to be in the winning for Irene's gift? If that's the case, then please put Louise Irene prize. I'm just going to put Louisa down for that. And we've got Simone. Oh, Rebecca wants to win Simone's prize. Fantastic. Thanks, Beck. That sounds good. I'm going to put you down for that. Fantastic. All righty. Moving right along. We've got 𝐓𝐿 chapter 8. Fear never visits. Oh, fear never visits just once. How true is that? Wow. 𝐓𝐿 Brooke currently lives on the Sunshine Coast with her adult daughter and 5 horses, 2 dogs and cats, and is a life and mindset coach and keynote speaker on a variety of topics. So please welcome 𝐓𝐿. Oh, I've lost your sound. 𝐓𝐿, hang on a second.
I just unmuted myself.
There you go. Great. Fantastic, fantastic.
Thank you so much for having me, and thanks everyone for coming on board this morning. A huge shout out to Jay and Dre, and also Lisa for having us today to walk us through and talk us through. So yes, that's what I do. I work on mindset, particularly with women, and I also work with teenagers. So that's sort of a double whammy for me, and I work with them to get them unstuck. So very often we have things in life that hold us back. And as you know, the problem is never the problem. So I really love working with everybody to shift their focus so that they can move forward and achieve things that they really thought they could never do. So that's my goal.
Yeah, that's fantastic, because it's all about mindset, really, isn't it?
Definitely.
A lot of the
And
time. And you aren't you one who works with horses?
I do. So the other side of my business that I run is that I actually do equine assisted learning and equine assisted therapy. So
Wow.
I have 3 unicorns at my place. I always call them the unicorns because they just work their magic and they change people's lives. And then I have 2 real
Wow.
ones, which are full-sized horses. And we work particularly with my clients with building up their confidence, their trust, understanding how to negotiate with the horses and also therefore in real life, being able to build your patience and understanding of working with the animal and working with other people. And of course, everything that I do with the horses that basically plays out in front of everyone, I relate back to real life and parallel it back to how this sort of experience that you're having right now actually works in real life, so that those skills are developed, and therefore the people who come to me, their confidence rises, their whole way of being able to communicate with other people just changes, their inner self changes, and they then become more adept to working within the community and focusing within their social group on how they can grow. And that's how the
Wow.
horses work.
And did you
Incredible.
notice, everyone who's watching, did you notice how her face lights up when she sees the transformation? Like she's imagining her clients. I do this too. She's imagining her clients and knowing exactly what they experience. Her whole face lit up like this angel. It was just so beautiful. So you can see that her love and her devotion to this work is just so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Can you tell us a
Thank
little
you.
bit about what you're going to give away as a prize and what the outcome would be for the winner?
Yes. So my major prize that I decided that I would gift this time, because I am a person who also works with young people. And one of the major issues that I find with teenagers at the moment is there are lots that are suffering from anxiety and from fear. And my goal would be to work with them for an hour where we can talk through what it is that's holding them back and what they can do so that they understand that this fear and this anxiety is not going to determine who you are forever. It is a moment in time, and you can actually change that because you want to live your life. We want to live. You need to see yourself that you can achieve your goals, that you can actually get outside the house. You can try different things, but it's a process of growth. And if you don't challenge yourself to try some of these things, then where are you going to be in the future? And I would really love to gift mine to somebody who knows a teenager who really could do with someone who understands where they're coming from. Admittedly, we only have an hour, but for them to realize that there's so much more than being defined by anxiety and these things that are holding you back, okay? Because there's a whole world out there for you. You just need to take it and make that choice.
I love that. That's so beautiful. I know that any teen out there that's struggling, you will get so much beautiful energy, understanding, and an open heart here. You can see it, you can feel it. It's tangible, the energy that she has. So please share this with other mums of other teenagers. Share this with people who know that might benefit from this particular session. Now, also, what's in your goodie bag so we can just differentiate, because I keep forgetting to differentiate. Please remind me.
That's right. So in my goodie bag, I've actually put in, I think it was 30 affirmations of overcoming fear, because our book was about breaking away from fear. So these are affirmations and positive thoughts that you can look at every day and say to yourself about overcoming your fear.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us today and for your gift. We really appreciate it, and your prize. So remember here, just to make sure, if you're tuning in live or you're tuning in on the replay, once you've purchased the book, which is you can buy your copy here. You'll see that the link's underneath. You can buy the Amazon best-selling book now. We've got new badges that are going to come up. Permission to Flourish, Breaking Free from Fear. You can buy it here. Now, once you've bought it for $2.99 USD, all you have to do is go over and click on that link, put your name, your email in, and you'll automatically get your goodie virtual gift bag filled with beautiful gifts and coaching resources from all these authors. That's thousands of dollars worth of work and prizes already there. Now, on top of that, we're also writing down everybody's name who wants to win a particular prize. So if you want to win that 1 hour session with Sue Ellen to help your teen break through fear and anxiety so they can move forward in life, please put the word Sue Ellen prize or Sue Ellen, so Sue Ellen prize plus your name, the name that you registered with this link underneath here. So as soon as you register with the link, we can actually match it with the comments. Now let's jump over to the comments. We've got horses are so receptive and aware. That is so, so, so true. Thank you for that comment there. And what a beautiful mission and what a wonderful gift. Yes, absolutely fantastic. Now let's move on. Yeah, thank you, Di, for joining us today. I really, really appreciate it. Di's going to pop off, and all the best to everybody there. Now let's move on. We're going to move on to Nikki. Where is my notes for Nikki? Yes, here. Nikki, your chapter. You've got chapter 1.
Yeah,
top of the list. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic.
Oh, yeah,
I love it. Transforming grief into resilience. Nikki Hamilton is a grief expert and speaker, women's resilience coach, a physiotherapist, heart-centered leader, and business owner. Her qualifications also include NLP Master Coach and Dr. DeMartini Facilitator. Oh, that is, wow, what a huge list of credits here you've got. So tell me a little bit about writing your chapter. How did you start? What did you decide?
Well, it was very easy for me to make a decision as to what my chapter was going to be about, because it was such a profound experience in our, and I guess, momentous experience in our lives to navigate and to go through, that to write about my son's passing was the only thing I was ever going to write about, because I want to be able to connect with women who are stuck in grief. And I wanted to be able to show them that there is a pathway through, because ultimately many women and men who are navigating grief, yes, they'll tell early stories to psychologists and counselors, and that's helpful. But very often, like myself, I found myself in a place where I was stuck, looping in a story of sadness, of grief, of resentment, of feeling very isolated. And it took a change or a decision within me to be able to find my way through. So writing my chapter, for me, it was an easy choice as to what I was going to write about, because I'm very passionate about this. But the writing process as well, it actually brought me a lot of gratitude, because I wrote the book, or wrote the chapter, on the 10th anniversary of our son passing away. So it just happened to coincide the timing. And so it's really beautiful to be able to take some time out and just spend it writing. I think the only difficulty was trying to keep the words to limit the chapter words. But otherwise, the process I found really beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, how wonderful. That must be a very difficult thing to write about, I would imagine. And I can't even imagine the grief of losing a child. I mean, everybody loses somebody in life, but normally it's older people. For a lot of us, it's something that, the natural progression of life. But to lose a child would be just so hard to bear for anybody.
Yeah.
I imagine that you come up with a lot of anger, I would imagine, too, with people trying to move on and process it.
Yeah, I think grief really, when you mention anger, I recall feeling like I had heavy chains of all emotions, anger, resentment, sadness, all of the things that I just carry around each day. And the difficulty, I think, with grief in any facial form, I mean, grief can can appear in people's lives in many different ways, whether it's divorce, whether it's, just life not just turning out as planned. But the problem with grief is it's invisible, right? Like if I broke my arm, people would know what was going on.
Yeah.
So I found the challenge with grief when I was navigating that was that it's really quite invisible to the world. And I'd like, I guess, a place where grief is, I don't know if accepted is the word that I'm looking for, but welcomed and supported in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah, look, absolutely. A friend of mine lost her husband a few years ago to cancer. And she said everybody was fabulous right in the beginning and they all rallied around, gave her food and gifts and things. But after a while, people stopped coming because she was still dealing with the grief and still dealing with that whole loss for years, of course. But people didn't know what to say to her to make it better. So she said the most painful thing, she said that sometimes I'd see people walk across the other side of the street to avoid me because they didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's like.
Yeah, and this is an experience that we've experienced as well, but we've also experienced the opposite, where people come in and are very open-armed and welcoming and supportive as well. So we've experienced both sides of that, but I think ultimately with grief, it can go on for years, and at some point you need to make a decision as to how you want to move forward and who you want to be in your life. And that's where my work sort of steps in, is like, okay, you've navigated the worst of it, but you're left treading water still because you're depleted, because it's an experience that depletes you, but B, usually you don't know what direction you're going in anymore. So women I work with, I really look at firstly figuring out how to put fuel in the tank again, but the biggest thing is to be able to find direction again, because making meaning out of it is the pathway that helps open the heart again and mean that you can actually not just be your story, but shine out in a different way.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so beautiful. So can you tell us a little bit about what's in your gift bag? So remember, if you've purchased the book, and it doesn't matter if you purchased today or purchased earlier this week, as soon as you purchase the book, just grab your Amazon order number and pop it in the link there with your name and email. That way you'll automatically get your goodie gift bag with all of the coaches' goodie gift bags in there. Plus, we're going to give away another prize. So tell us a little bit about what's in the bag.
So in the bag, I have a 30-minute video training as well as a worksheet. And it's designed to give you the 3 essential steps that you need to start working or walking toward resilience through grief. So it's really specifically for people who are navigating grief of any sort. Like, I know my story is quite unique, but if you think about it, every grief story is unique. There's no 2 stories the same. So it could be any type of grief that you're navigating. And if you're feeling like you're in a place where I'm tired of this, but I don't know what step to take in order to make a change. It's like, you need to change, but you don't know how. So this 3-step video is designed to give you the three essential first steps that you need to start transforming grief into resilience. So that's the goodie bag. So it's an easy video and a worksheet that you can work through for yourself.
I love that.
And then, yeah, thanks. And then the coaching, I'll also offer as an additional prize a 1-hour one-on-one coaching session with me. So really specifically for women who are, I guess, tired of being in survival mode through grief and know that they're ready to make a change. I'll spend an hour with them to help them start taking some steps forward for themselves.
That's fantastic. I love that. Ready for change coaching session. I love that. Ready for change. So if you want to work with Nikki, now is the opportunity for you to put it in the chat right now. I'm adding your name to Nikki's prize and popping it in our little extra prize bowl. Now, we will be checking this chat over the next day or 2. So don't worry if you didn't make it live. That's okay. If you're watching it on the replay, make sure you know what prizes that you want to win and put your name plus the name of the author next to it, so we can actually match that against whatever went into this link. So once you've bought the book, you put your name and email into this link here with your order number, then we can match your email and your name with the actual prize from the author. So remember, you can buy your books right up to tomorrow. You can buy them. They're on Amazon. They're not going away anywhere. Now let's go over to the comments here. We've got here, what a beautiful mission. I think I might have tried that before, but shared that before, but that's from Louisa. And thank you so much, Sue Ellen, for such a wonderful gift. We've got Louisa is putting her hand up for Sue Ellen's prize, which I've already written down. Louisa, I've got you back. I'm so glad that you're here because there's lots of prizes to give away today. And Jay says, yes, I love your story, Nikki. Now, Irene says, thank you, Nikki, so much for helping other grieving parents. And that's so true. And you know what, Nikki, I was just going to say just one thing about grief, that I've worked with a lot of people that are from different industries, like especially when I was working with a very high-end footballer once, and he suddenly had to give up his entire career and then switch careers. That is also a form of grief. I know I'm not taking away from the massive grief of a parent, the loss of a child, but there's also other forms of grief that I'm sure that you help people with.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And like I said, grief takes on many faces and forms. And it's ultimately life is just not turning out as planned. And you're looking at the tipped out jigsaw puzzle, wondering, how am I supposed to put this together? It could be your career. It could be your relationship. It could be your family. There's so many different ways it appears, but ultimately it's a place where you're standing, looking at the rubble, kind of going, now, like where do I start? It's a feeling of being lost.
Well, that's exactly right. And look, even anybody who's gone through a divorce or a breakup that was sudden and traumatic, a lot of the time it can be, especially with my situation and lots of other people's situation, sudden and traumatic, and suddenly from one second to the next, everything has changed and you don't know what to do with it. Yeah, that can be, that whole process was a big grief process for me too. And for one of my students, when she had a psychosomatic loss of voice, suddenly all of her identity, we had that identity conversation earlier, was based around her being a singer and being in this award-winning choir and touring all over the world. Suddenly she couldn't sing. So her entire identity was lost, and she was grieving, like really, really deeply grieving for the loss of what used to be. It was just awful. So I'm sure that you could help a lot of people.
I think it's just on that note, I agree in that most of the time grief is also a combination of grieving the loss of yourself, because suddenly you're not who you were anymore and you can't go back to that necessarily. And you grieve that too. So I had a similar experience with going through that trauma. I suddenly couldn't work, and I'd been a physio my whole life, it felt, and suddenly I was unable to construct a sentence, and my identity was like, well, who am I now? Who am I?
That's exactly right. Yeah. And it's a weird thing, because I remember the first, I think I waited about 3 weeks after the big crash and burn with my ex-husband, and I booked my first client, therapist counseling. You see, it's all happening because I'm remembering it. And then I suddenly couldn't speak. It was really bizarre. It's you go back into that spot. So I walked in, I couldn't read the map. I couldn't find the place for a start. I was late. I was disgruntled. And then she gave me this form where I had to fill in stuff. I was so traumatized and in grief that I couldn't even read. I might as well just have been handed a Chinese document. Like literally, I didn't have the ability to read, and I didn't have the ability to speak. It was bizarre. It's so bizarre. And that's what grief can do. It can completely arrest all your senses.
Agreed.
Yeah. Look, fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing this. And Jay, you are absolutely right. The authors are offering wonderful and amazing gifts. So thank you so much. And thank you so much, Chantel. I've got a goodie bag, and we'll share with this with my friend who's very much in grief after her dad passing a year ago. Oh, you're very, very sweet. And thank you for sharing your great stories. Congratulations, everyone. Loai, thank you so much for joining us today. I really, really appreciate you being here live. And death can change you. Yes, my dad's passing definitely changed me. Absolutely. All right. Now, thank you so much, Nikki, for joining us today. We're going to move on to our next chapter, and I think we're up to 𝐲𝐻. I'm looking for your information. Here we go. 𝐲𝐻, your chapter is chapter 4. Reveal your inner power, finding courage amidst adversity. Now, 𝐻𝐻 is passionate, soul-driven, transformational coach, hailing from the heart of Jordan. He inspires and guides young, ambitious souls to break free from limitations. Welcome, 𝐻𝐻. It's so nice to have you here. Can we get 𝐻𝐻 spotlighted, please? Thank you. That's awesome. Welcome. And congratulations on writing your chapter. Tell us a little bit about it.
Thank you so much. Honestly, like, so my chapter is just basically about the time of my life where I had when I literally was on one of the lowest points in my life, where I was literally like in the victim mindset, like, you know, blaming everyone and everything for everything that was going on in my life. I was stuck in this victim mindset. I was dragging myself into a lot of things going on, and I feel like the part that I wanted to highlight is where I was to where I wanted to be, and I just wanted to show people that if I can do it, you can do it too. And a lot of times I think we get into this whole, like, this rabbit hole where we feel like things are going sideways, but again, it's up to us to really, like, you know, grab ourselves up from wherever we are and just kind of get ourselves back to back on track and just get ourselves to move on. So yeah, I think it was a scene in my life where that's why I'm an advocate of the power of one. So I truly believe, like, one chapter, one move, one call, one of everything that can possibly change our life. For me, it was one question from Dean Graziosi where it changed the whole trajectory of my life. This is why I was so inspired to just and it was when Dean asked me, like, it was a YouTube ad when he said, like, what if in 5 years you stayed in the exact same position you are in right now? How would that look like, knowing that nothing has changed for you? And it, like, struck me to the core. It's like, as if someone's just stabbing me in the knife, like, you know, just putting me in my same space. So I think this is what was the thing that literally just changed the whole trajectory of my life and how I saw things in that perspective. So yeah.
Wow. And so it's deep work. All of us, you can see that we're all doing very deep work here. It seems to be a common theme going through all of us, all the coaches, which is beautiful. Can you tell me a little bit about what you've put in the goodie bag and what you're offering as the prize, so we can actually explain that to the audience today?
Yeah. So when I was explaining it to Dre, so in the goodie bag, and so two things. First of all, I would love to give everyone a five, like, it was a 5 key mentalities to have a beautiful, like, rest of 2024. So it's like a mindset, 5 key mindsets, things that would definitely change the tone for people who think that they are still not good enough, or feel that things are not working their way. So it's like it's 5 key mentality, which really is amazing. And in terms of the free thing, I gave like a one-on-one 45-minute coaching, which I love to serve anyone who's on the edge, who feels like they're stuck, they're in the midst of feeling that they're going to give up, or they feel that they're not good enough, or they feel that something is holding them back. And I just want to tell them, like, it's like we're all good enough, we're all amazing, and it's just about igniting that spark within us to just go in and tackle this issue.
Great. And if you could articulate to us what sort of people that you help, what sort of people do you actually attract into your clientele, who would that be?
So basically right now, mostly are millennials who are really millennials who are kind of stuck, and they feel that they're in the medium of just listening to personal development or getting to personal development, but still there's something holding them back, which are their fears, their limiting beliefs, and things that are really just, holding them back from actually pursuing these things. So it's basically they're stuck and they can't find a way to just move on. So yeah, that's where I get into the game. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. So look, if you are here either live or in the replay, if you want Haig's prize, if you want to win a one-on-one session with him to get through those blockages, then all you have to do is put Haig and your name after Haig, H-A-I-G. Now, let me just go through the rules and things here so you can actually see what we're doing. First of all you need to do is go and buy your copy of the book. If you haven't already, the link's underneath this video. And the second thing you need to do is once you've bought the book and you've got the Amazon purchase ID, then you just place that into the link here and you'll get immediate access to your virtual gift bag. Now, all of the authors have got some wonderful gifts that they're giving away absolutely free of charge because you've supported our beautiful book purchase. So the purchase of the book is just $2.99 on Amazon, and you've helped us become best-selling authors. All we're here to do today is to say thank you. We really want to say thank you for supporting our cause and to help us become that #1 bestseller in multiple categories, which is fantastic. So we're going to bring Jay and Dre on in a moment just to tell us a little bit more about that. But I think, did I miss anything now? Let's get everybody back on the screen. Who have we got here? Yeah, let's add everybody back on the screen. If anyone wants the session with Haig, make sure that you pop that in the chat, and we've got prizes to draw out in a second. Now, Dre, did you and Jay, you want to tell us about your chapters too? Are you guys happy to do that?
Yes, I could go first because I didn't write a chapter in this book, but I did in the first book. But I just wanted to say, firstly, Alyssa, massive, ginormous, gigantic, humongous thank you to you for all the work that you've done in the book, during the book, and also like hosting this. It's just been frigging phenomenal. So Jay and I appreciate you so much, and just all the work that you've done that people don't see as well. So we absolutely love you to bits. And I'll just leave with this before I hand over to Jay. I am just so proud of each and every one of the authors, but also there's a team of about 18, which most people don't see. And what we've done in such a short amount of time is frigging incredible. So lots of love to everybody. It's almost 2:30 in the morning where I am, and I'm gonna
You're a trooper. My goodness. Oh, thank you so much. You and Dre have been the masterful drivers of this bus, driving it home to the bestseller status. It's just been fantastic to be on your bus. So thank you for inviting us in to enjoy the journey. We've really enjoyed it. Thank you. And Dre, Jay, do you want to share a little bit about your chapter and the whole journey? Because you are the mothership here. You're the reason that we're here.
Thank you so much, Alyssa. Yeah, before I share anything, I just want to really say a huge thank you to everyone that participated in the book, because everyone really shared heartfelt stories that is life-changing to others as they read it. And it won't matter how many times I read the book, I will cry. And it's just so beautiful and so lovely because it's from the heart, and that's what makes it so special. And when I started with the vision of permission to flourish, it was truly allowing myself permission. And I heard a lot of people talk about self-sabotage, the imposter syndrome, not feeling enough. And I had all of those symptoms as well. And it was, how do we get it out there, and how do we share it where others can have their story shared on the platform and just share it across the globe, because we all have a story to tell and leaving a legacy. And I think the most important thing was when we write, we start writing, we put that pen to the paper and write it. It's a whole different journey for each and every one of us and the experience we go through. And so for me, that was what it's all about, to just bring our stories to life. And the chapter that I wrote in here, I try to, it's one of those that you're like, I can't believe this is happening again. again. Like, how many times do I have to fall on my face and feel like I'm a failure and get back up? But I know it's not the end. It's just a simple roadblock, and there's always something amazing. And here we are today. So I never ever take those things as failures anymore. It's opportunities, and how can I make it better? And how can I get over that challenge and share it? There's always a reason for everything.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for putting this whole thing together. It's a really important project because a lot of people, they need to find their voice somehow. And that voice could be spoken, that could be sung, or it could be written. It doesn't matter how we find our voice, but every single person on the planet has a voice and has the right to be heard. I honestly believe that with all of my heart. And we all know it's true. We all are here for a reason. We're all put on this planet for a reason. We're put in this room for a reason. So if you're listening to this today and some of these stories have touched your heart, we are so glad to be here for you, because that's why we wrote the book in the first place. We want to help people who are struggling. We want to help people, give them the resilience and the information that they need to actually move them into the next stage of life, onward and upward. So if you're joining us late, or if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you. We praise you and thank you for your support and your love. And remember, all you have to do is purchase the book. Once you purchase, you jump straight over to grab the gift bag. And when we actually draw the prizes, we'll be able to match the comments with the gift bag. So that's how we're going to do it today. Now, are we going to draw prizes today, or should we let everybody know by email? Because we had a few people missing, and I know that some people will want to put their names in the chat. What do you think we should do, Dre?
Yeah, let's notify everybody by email, because I know that where Hague is, I think is it almost 5 in the morning for you, Hague?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, Hague, you deserve a medal as well. Wow. Yeah. And I'm just going to share these. Oh, look, all of these beautiful comments. Well done, Jay. You're an inspiration. Absolutely. And Irene's message is, thank you, Jay and Dre, for helping us along our journey. It was such a fulfilling experience. Asha, thank you for joining us, of course, and 100%. We're all here for a reason. Yeah, fantastic. So if you've enjoyed this, I hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure that you put it in the chat. If you're watching this on the replay, make sure that you put your name in the chat next to the person's name of the prize that you'd like to win. We'll be collating all this information over the next couple of days as all the chats come in from all the 3 different platforms. And we're going to make sure that we put all the names in the hat for the right person, and one person will be chosen for that extra prize. But in the meantime, enjoy your gift goodie bag and go and read the book from cover to cover. You will get so much value out of Permission to Flourish, because you have permission to flourish. We can't wait to see you next time. Thank you so much for joining us, all the authors. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate your time, your love, your talents. You're amazing. And we couldn't have done this without the help of everybody. So thank you. All right. Mwah. And big hearts. I think this works in yes, it does. Look at that. Isn't that sweet? And we're going to do fireworks just before we finish. Fireworks. Come on, fireworks. Woo, confetti. Oh, okay. Celebrate good times. Come on. All right. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. I love it. All right. See you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. See you. Bye.